in last split's final, where they ended up getting 3-0'd. They're looking to change that record, as that's not a history that you'd like to keep.
And G2, they're running it back here. The same two bans, they changed it up on the third. Last game, elected to ban the Trundle. This time it's the Cho'Gath. They're finally focusing Alphari in the draft and trying to limit his output out of a side lane.
And you have to respect it, but the bar is surprisingly making it through once again. This was a pick we expected to be hotly contested. Misfits have been willing to give it up, though, in the name of picks like this Braum. Maybe it is just an Ezreal again. Do they just want to run it back?
Oh! Draven for Handsummer. This is what we wanted to see.
I want you guys to cast your mind back. Last year's Summer Finals, it was Game 3. It was desperation for Misfits when Handsummer locked in that Draven.
Yes.
Now it's desperation for G2, and Handsummer says, oh, look how the tides have turned.
I'm telling you, first half of the split, Misfits are back. The Draven lock-in for Handsummer. They're, you know, they played a little safer in the early laning phase last time with the Ezreal, lost lane early. They're not looking to lose lane anymore. They're going for kills.
But things stay the same for G2 in that they have the Sion once again in the top lane, but no Cho'Gath this time round. Pushing strong matchup for Wunder is always going to be advantageous for G2, and an Alistar has been locked in as well, something that's really good at locking down low mobility AD carries like a Draven.
There are a few key changes from them, though, because it's not the Morgana, it's not the safer option, which we're usually used to seeing Wadid lock in to help out Hjärnan. It's also not a first pick Ryze for PerkZ. He's trying to get a counter pick, but on blue side, that's going to be very, very difficult. And we know that this player for G2 needs to have that winning matchup so he can snowball and can look to carry his team.
I think that's a good point there. I'd like to see Misfits actually ban this one away, because I don't think that's the start of champion you want to be putting Sencux on. So far, we've seen him really succeed on utility, things that can roam, things that kind of fit into the Sencux of old, where he just plays towards the two big carries that are stepping up this game, Alphari and Handsummer.
And look, Mundo and Draven in this game, the Game 3, I think if you're a Misfits fan, this is the best thing you could have asked for. Individual comfort across the board. It looks so beautiful for this team, but G2, they've got engaged. They've got tools to fight to stop this Draven from snowballing, but you know this is going to be a difficult game.
And for G2, I think you look to ban away the Gragas right here. Get the playmaking out of Maxlore's hands. Make him be a little bit less comfortable with the Skarner banned away as well. We could see a lot of jungle focus in this second rotation, which could be a good thing for Jankos. Maybe he can go back onto something with a little bit more damage, a little more carry potential. Because they're putting Wunder on tank duty, it opens up more options for him.
Did G2 look to ban away the Gragas now? Yes, they do. Okay, so Nocturne is available. Both Talia is available as well. She's definitely dropped in priority, but I have heard from a few junglers that she can still work. And when so many of the top most contested junglers are taken off the board, maybe she raises in value.
Yeah, I also have to look at Kindred as another one of those damage champions. When we have big, beefy front lines, Kindred having another marksman in your arsenal can definitely assist.
Poppy
trying
jungle.
to cut it down. Nice.
Poppy jungle going up against G2 eSports. Now, I remember last split, or maybe last year, Maxlore was a big fan of this jungler, and he first timed it against Splice's Zac.
Against Xerxes. Yeah, because Xerxes was the one who brought it out. Yeah. We heard in the post-game interview, yeah, I just tried it for the first time.
I was like, I heard it's a good matchup, so I figured I would give it a go.
And we heard from Amazing yesterday, in this jungle meta, there's so much wide open, and if you are comfortable playing a champion, you can bust it out, but taking the Poppy does mean the Nocturne is free for Jankos, and PerkZ once again gets his hands on that Ryze.
And this is very scary because Misfits went hard on the jungle bans. PerkZ has his Ryze again. Level 6 comes through. G2 again can look to play through mid lane, can look to play through bottom lane. They have PerkZ with options now on this Ryze.
So limited crowd control on the side of Misfits. When you look at their engage options, their best bet is trying to find a flank with Poppy, but they don't have a lot of area of effect crowd control. I mean, the thing is, you kind of want a team fight with this composition, but it's difficult for you to start off fights. G2, on the other hand, have a wealth of way to start fights. They have lots of crowd control. They have good options for 1-3-1. I just feel like G2's comp have a lot more options.
Exactly. G2 have a lot of just press this button, we go in immediate engagement, whereas Misfits have a couple of beefy frontliners that want to run you down, slow you down consistently, maybe get a flank from Alphari or Maxlore. That's going to be their best bet, but it's definitely going to be a little bit more difficult to execute, it feels like, without that big option just saying, we're going in right now.
And the safety of Ezreal is no longer there for them as well. The Draven's going to need to get up in the face of so many of these tankier champions. If he gets a lead, it might just be easy for him to play cleanup across every fight, but if he gets behind, this game is going to be so incredibly difficult for the Misfits lineup. Stakes are set high, ladies and gentlemen. G2 eSports with their backs against the wall. 0-2 down in this series. VODS, you said it earlier, but the only other time they've been down like this, they were 3-0 swept by Fnatic. But now here, in this final moment, we do need to hear from the coach. QuickShot, what has he got to say?
Thank you very much, guys. Grabs, let's talk very quickly. Are you surprised about the Draven and the jungle Poppy?
Not really. I mean, Draven is a handsome staple. I also don't think it matters. If you just fix your mistakes from the second game, it should be free.
All right, last question. You're down 0-2, have to do the reverse sweep. How is the mentality on the boys on stage?
I mean, again, it's pretty fine because the second game, we should have won. It's just us throwing the game and giving them the game to Misfits on a silver platter. So if you just play our game, at least this game should be free, and then the next one's too.
All right, we'll find out. Best of luck in Game 3. Back over to you guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Grabs and QuickShot. Here we are, Game 3. We've already talked about it, backs against the wall. Grabs still feeling good despite this 0-2 state that G2 find themselves in. But I'm curious, how do people at home feel? Are the G2 faithful out? Are they strong? Are they ready to back up their team? Or is it everybody a Misfits fan now that they're 2-0 up in the series?
Seems like everyone would be a Misfits fan. There's usually some fair weather friends when it comes to these teams, and when you get the fan vote out there. And of course, with the heartbreaking loss for G2, when you have such a big early game advantage and it turns around like it did in the last time, it's really tough to sort of claw your way back and get yourself in the right mindset.
Remember that, like, G2 as an organization in Europe for a long time were considered almost the villains. They were the kind of bad guys, the people that upset some of the fan favorites like Fnatic. They were the team that when traveling internationally could never quite live up to the own expectations that they put upon themselves, but last year that really began to change, and this year they've been one of the big rivals and contenders against Fnatic, even with a brand new roster. But the thing for Misfits is they've always just been the surprise. They've always been the underdogs. They're the team that everyone underestimates, yet they come into situations where they're expected to fail, and then they just surprise. It happened against Fnatic, it happened against SKT, and it might be happening again. And this just causes so many fans to just get behind Misfits because everyone loves an underdog story. And it's strange to think, because Misfits were 9-0 at the beginning of the split. So it's so strange to be saying that, but considering their second half, it's a little more understandable as to why G2 were considered such heavy favorites in this best-of-5.
And you also have to remember the history now of G2, why people put so much faith in this team, even when they did have a little bit of a shaky second half. When it was Misfits down, people often believe in G2 because this is a team, as you mentioned, that have been at the top. However, we're going to have to hold that because bot lane looks like we may already see an early gank coming in.
Yeah, Maxlore level 2 start on the spot side and are trying to go right on it.
Trying to shut down. Draven looking for a first blood here. Wadid just trying to stop anything from happening. Flash is starting to come out, buying a bit more time. Wadid is going to get stunned up. TP's now coming in. They need to get a kill. Wadid flashing for his life. Mikyx wants to get another one. Hansama, can he get it? Is he going to get one more? First blood! A beautiful start to the game for Misfits.
Absolutely incredibly. Divide the map at level 1. Take complete control. Zone away G2 from the tower. They weren't even level 2. Hjärnan we did were stuck at level 1, and the play from the Poppy jungle absolutely works.
Fantastic early game from Misfits. If we ever said Misfits could have a best start to a game, this would be it. Getting Hansama ahead on his Draven off the back of a level 2 Maxlore gank is the perfect way to start.
There were so many mind games too from this entire play, with Maxlore invading with the rest of Misfits at level 1 to clear 2 camps away and then come straight on down here. And of course, Hjärnan, he's trying to turn back around because they have the teleport coming through to make it a 3v3, but Wadid is still level 1, still too squishy, and the early game damage on a Draven cuts through him.
And Maxlore flashes in to take tower aggro to allow Hansama a little bit more time to actually get underneath and secure that kill, because if he tanked 2 tower shots, that might have been a 1-for-1. So nobody ends up dying on the side of Misfits. Hansama gets an early kill. He's now sitting at a 700 gold lead.
And there were so many incredible micro pieces of that play as well, because Hansama actually started the game with a red sweeper. He got a ward cleared right off the bat to hit level 2 a little bit earlier. They invade on the red buff and then have Maxlore walk straight down into the bottom lane where they know Jankos can't be there to defend from that dive.
No, he's not going to do it. No, you can't. You can't do this to no man. His backside, you got to have some mercy, Alphari.
How many times has Alphari got to do this before people start saying, yeah, maybe he is one of the best top laners in Europe? Wunder proved a lot when he went off to Rift Rivals, but since his return, he's not been able to do that bot lane. No, not quite able to find anything.
Every time anything lands in this bottom lane, you get a little bit nervous because this is a Draven that cashed in first blood really early on, so didn't get too much use out of the passive, but it's one of the most snowbally characters in the game.
Not just because of the passive, but also because of the massive CS lead he currently has. He is pushing in 2 waves here, so Hjärnan's going to be able to recoup some of it, but double longswords on top of the kill is just making it so hard for Hjärnan to lane comfortably.
Now, Flash was used for Hansama, and that's not going to be up for another 2.5 minutes, which means that Jankos, hopefully he can get level 6 in that period of time and look for a gank down towards this bot side of the map, because Wadid still has good setup with the Alistar, they still have decent damage with the Varus, and when you pair that up with the burst that a Nocturne ultimate can provide, maybe G2 can turn this bot lane back in their favor.
Yeah, and Ryze for G2 as well on PerkZ. Once he hits level 6, there's a lot of tools they have to rotate down bottom side. And you remember last game with a very similar style of composition, that was the play for G2 to sit around here to punish this bottom lane if they ever walked a little bit too far in.
Now they're going to go look for another aggressive play.
Oh,
Mikyx
baby.
could be in trouble. Hansama, though, going so much damage. Look at what he is so far. Maxlore is going to leave.
Oh!
There's the hammer shot. Gets him with the shield. The Captain America finish.
That was so well played from Maxlore, charging forward, not even onto a did, but just to get in range for the hammer shot into the buckler kill. And this whole bottom lane situation is just falling apart for G2. Oh no.
Oh, he's just going to keep it going. Jankos doesn't even get the chance to use his spell shield. He uses the fear, but it's too little too late. One more auto.
Hansama is 2-0-1 in Game 3 against G2. Cast your minds back to Paris, ladies and gentlemen. Cast your minds back to when Hansama picked that Draven in Game 3 and G2 shut him down. This time round, Misfits are 2-0 up. Hansama is 2-0-1, and Misfits want to
They're coming back again!
Maxlore. He's unrelenting. The TP's now coming in too. He's just waiting for the opportunity to find the knock-up. Hansama still managing to stay alive thus far, but he's going to take one more tower shot. He is going to get taken down. G2 doing what they can to fire back, but Wadid, I don't think it's going to be enough. Alphari is just too tanky. The minion block not going to stop him in the double now for Maxlore.
They've got everyone in the bottom lane. Everyone. Misfits is back. They're looking to 3-0 G2 right here to knock G2 out of the playoffs. The first time in their organization's history that G2 could potentially not make it to the finals. And it's all off of this incredible play from Maxlore and the bottom lane of Misfits.
And gentlemen, I cannot believe my eyes, the aggression coming out from Maxlore. This replay brought to you by Acer Predator. You can see how confident this man is.
And it all started with Wadid trying to set up a play for Jankos to come into the bot side of the map. Mikyx was the one to actually kick off that aggression and thinking, okay, we can turn this around in our favor. Then Maxlore joins up late to the fight. And after securing that first kill, they go for more. Look, just max range of that E coming out from Maxlore secures the stun. Hansama then has enough damage to find the kill. And then Hjärnan thinks, okay, I can come back. This is fine. We can end up turning this around, especially with my support here. But no, the TP comes in.
Yeah, Maxlore is always there, gets the perfect angles to make sure that wall slam is a stun. Gets it onto Hjärnan before land onto Jankos. And of course, the TP from Alphari just to tank this turret and make sure they can get another kill is just the cherry on top.
Now, unfortunately, Hansama took tower aggro. He ended up hitting Hjärnan just before anyone else on his team could, which means that he was CC'd long enough that he ended up losing his life. But he got so much gold off the back of that. BF sword plus a Vamp Scepter. Observers, just quickly swap over to the gold for us and let's have a look at the difference.
Oh my god. 1,500 gold. There's a 2K gold lead for the side of Misfits. Almost all of that is Hansama, the Draven cashing out, his signature pick coming through. And if you are a Misfits fan, this is the most beautiful Game 3 you could have ever dreamed of. And for G2, you do not get a go next. This is it. It is do or die, and you are up against not only this team composition, but this massive gold lead.
Yeah, that's a lot here for Misfits. And of course, Maxlore not going to stop, wants to make sure that his bottom lane still has protection. He can continue to play around this as Sencux starts the movement down into this bottom lane.
Now, you talked about this player, and but I feel like we need to give him more credit. Maxlore has been setting up so many of these plays. He had a fantastic Gragas last game, landing perfect ultimates, and now he's trying to snowball Hansama once again. He knows his win condition is get this AD carry ahead, and he is playing it beautifully. 3-0-2, 100% kill participation. Maxlore is the catalyst to allow Hjärnan to be the big carry.
And he's been spending a lot of time here, not farming, just positioning, waiting for a play to break out around this bottom lane. It's because that tower is so incredibly low. They're waiting for that minion wave to reach the tower so they can try to zone them off once more, but Jankos is here to stop that.
And for so long, G2 were holding on to these advantages they get in the laning phase. Wunder finally beating out Alphari, but in the mid lane, we see a different story for the first time this series. Sencux was getting demolished 1v1 in CS in just about every single matchup, but this time, he's looking so much better. 71 to 87 in the mid lane.
You must be feeling so confident right now if you're Sencux. The fact that your bot lane is winning so hard, the fact that Maxwell hanging around the mid lane, Sencux has his ulti, no QSS has been completed yet. For PerkZ, looks like they're going for it. There's the pings. You can see Jankos hanging off on the flank as well.
Gonna go in. The Predator comes through. Ooh, immediate flash. The moment of hesitation there for Sencux. Stops the play from going through. But a flash burn for a flash. Next time Maxlore's in that lane, PerkZ is going to be in trouble, and no ulti burned as well.
And the war of attrition down bottom lane finally cashes in for Misfits. They will get that tower, and this sets in motion the cascading effect that you get off of just a solo kill turret in the bottom lane. Now all of a sudden, you get to go take a dragon, you get to rotate into the top lane and start knocking down even more structures.
Camp bot lane even more.
Oh my god!
I mean, look, Maxlore here once again. No teleports are available except for the one on Sencux. They might just keep pushing this if they want to.
We wanted to see the Misfits bot lane get shut down. We wanted G2 to stop some of this from happening, getting the Draven to snowball ahead, and it's not happening. And Wunder finally winning the lane on his own. G2, yes, they're getting this Rift Herald, but Hjärnan is backing, and he's going to complete that Stormrazor immediately. This is a terrifying Draven. It's going to take 2 or 3 autos to cut down these squishier members.
Now, G2 looking to play through the top side of the map. As you said, Wunder does have pressure. He's playing well on the Sion, and picking up the Rift Herald means that G2 can at least get a tower back for themselves. It means that they're not sacrificing the entirety of the map, and that they can slow things down a little bit. And I think it's really worth highlighting that Hjärnan and Wadid, you can't really blame them for this situation. Getting dived at level 1 into getting hard camped, there are very few things you can do in this situation to really mitigate that kind of pressure.
Let's be clear, they queued up thinking they were playing against Maxlore, not Mikyx. So when level 2 ganks come to mind, that is not the player you think of. But Maxlore, shifting it up, doing what he has to get this bot lane ahead is so good for this team. But you're right, Hjärnan, hopefully keep the mental game strong. G2 need to keep their heads on their shoulders as they move further into the game, because it is not done yet, no matter how grim it looks.
Now, the one benefit G2 have is they're gonna very likely get both neutral objectives here. They got the Rift Herald to be able to trade for the first tower. Now they're setting up around the bottom lane as well. They're bringing in everyone for Alphari.
Alphari is going to be in trouble under the tower. He's trying to heal up as much as he can. Does have the stopwatch. Will buy a bit of time combined with the ultimate, but in goes Jankos. Where is he going to be in the end? Leaps right under the backline. Wants to take down Alphari. But he gets suppressed. He gets knocked into the wall, and they say it's not going to happen. G2. Every light of hope you've ever held dear is going to get snuffed out in this game 3.
The stopwatch from Alphari was amazing. He went from being in a 1v4 to a 4 versus 4. Beautiful reactions from him, end up turning around a dive, and Misfits once again come out on top.
And there are not many teams that will teleport into a 4v5 situation like Misfits did right there, but they were confident. Now they're looking for
PerkZ knocked to the wall. The stun's not going to come through, but God, look at that Hansama damage. This is a Draven unleashed upon G2, and they were not ready.
G2 are crumbling. They're already 0-2 in this series. This team has been in the last 5 European LCS finals, and this could be the first time in the organization's history that they will be knocked out in the quarters.
First time they have to play through the gauntlet. The first time they have to fight so hard to secure a spot at Worlds if they lose here. Nothing is guaranteed for this lineup if they cannot find a win. Look at this one, it's pretty clean.
Now Alphari, as soon as he gets down on the ground, uses the zonies. The rest of the team calls for the double teleports to move on in. And at this point, G2, they've got 5 members, but Wadid, he's tanking tower, he's running away. They don't have the damage to kill Alphari, and at that point, they just get CC chained underneath the tower without any recourse.
5,500 gold is the advantage that Misfits have over the 5-time finalists of G2. This was a roster that was rebuilt after the departure of Sven and Mithy, and while last split, they made it to the finals. Here in this quarters, they are struggling. They have not been able to showcase a huge amount. They will have to find some miracle comeback in order to turn this game around.
And this is a revived Misfits roster as well. They have already won today just as many games in one day that they won in the last 4.5 weeks. They're on the brink of beating that record in just this series alone without dropping a single game. It really is impressive stuff out of them, with every single member stepping up to the challenge.
Both teams now playing in a division. Misfits extending their vision line into enemy territory. They are looking to choke G2 out. It'll be a slow and painful death for this lineup. They will not get their own jungle resources at this stage of the game, and they'll be difficult to get much of anything else. Hansama just continues to scale up, continues to stack. Another kill with all these adoration stacks will make it nigh impossible to ever look to 1v1 this Draven. But G2 aren't going out without a fight. 4 members here on the top side ready to contest.
Ooh, here comes an ulti onto
Sencux now could be in trouble. Looks like he will get feared up. Good use of the spell shield there. That's 1 kill back for G2.
Okay, that's a good pick from the side of G2. Sencux overextended in the mid, while Misfits generate some pressure on the top side.
Well, here we go. Hansama's just going in.
Predator to use Hansama! Oh, the Draven damage!
Wait.
The ulti the wrong way. Now is going to bring it back. Wunder, ooh, beautiful use. He's trying to go golden. He's trying to style on him. He's going to get down another auto attack. Jankos doing what he came up with.
He's under the tower.
PerkZ says, I'll pick up that shutdown. Wants to bring it back in a moment of hubris for the Misfits. Means G2 will get back a good chunk of gold.
A major turn here for G2. They're still looking to go further.
Braum warp, Wunder wants to bring it in. The knockup goes through. He's trying to block as much damage as humanly possible. Maxlore's on the backside, hoping to get his team out to safety. PerkZ now running for his life as they try to cut down Alphari, trying to use his teammates to body block the cleavers. Alphari now set to fall as well. Double kill for PerkZ. G2 not looking quite as out as they once were.
They just got 4 kills for 0 right there. It starts off with Jankos getting a straight-up solo kill onto Sencux, and then the whole fight goes in their favor.
The G2 army must have prayed hard, because that was the miracle that they were looking for. Maxlore now in a 1v1 against Jankos.
Jankos just going to run him down. The fear is there. Poppy not great in these 1v1 scenarios. No keeper's verdict either, but he has to back off. Luckily, Sencux is there to protect him.
And G2, things were looking dire for them, but they found this pick onto Sencux, and with the numbers advantage, they felt confident moving up towards the top side to then stop the siege from Misfits.
And then at this point, Hansama can very easily stay here, get the tower. The rest of G2 is rotating very defensively to clear the next minion wave, but Misfits make the call to go forward. PerkZ barely gets out, and the ultimate goes the wrong direction from Hansama. Then a teleport from behind puts Hansama between so many members of G2, and it's Wadid that bumps him straight into the tower to make this fight a winning one for G2.
And as the rest of it plays out, of course, a lot of confidence coming in from G2. You can tell they're playing from a deficit. PerkZ has to dodge every single cleaver by body blocking with his teammates. It is still a close exchange, but they do reign supreme in the end. 5-7 now the kill score. Gold deficit still huge for G2, but things are looking up. 3-1 on PerkZ. This is the man we said needs to carry this series. He needs to shut down Sencux. He may not have got it in the laning phase, but he's getting it now.
Still a level 11 Hansama. 2 items have been completed. Here comes the pit.
Alphari now running for his life. The flash over the wall. Good use there. Wadid as well. He's going to make it out safe.
But that's 3 members topside for G2. Yes, trying to find those picks and kills are important, but Misfits are generating pressure towards the bot side of the map. Here is Wunder with Hjärnan backing him up.
Does it Hansama, just doing a little bit of damage, trying his best to clear the wave there. Not even afraid of the Sion. They just want to kill him immediately. Can't be disabled though as he backs out. They'll hold on for now.
So Wunder right there did his job. He was there purely to try and clear the wave and stall out this push coming in from Misfits. Misfits still in the area though, but shouldn't be able to get more than a little bit of damage on this turret with that move there from Wunder.
Gentlemen, I'm almost at a loss for words. G2, I'm so impressed that they've even been able to claw back as much as they have. PerkZ split pushing on a side lane, but it's going to cost him so much because Misfits are relentless in the mid lane. A beautiful use of the keeper's verdict ensures this tier 2 will fall.
Misfits find themselves another objective even after a poor fight. They're still that far ahead that they can afford to make these mistakes without losing too much. G2 only finding 1 tower on the map. Draw their eyes towards PerkZ. The man that formed this team, the man that this roster was built around at the beginning of the year, the man that did take them to finals in spring. He's currently 3-1-0. He's at a pretty big deficit behind Sencux, but he's going to have to make that play that can turn things around. He still has that potential late game threat off on a side lane, but still it's wishful thinking at this point as Misfits secure another tower.
And the gold deficit just continues to grow as more and more towers are taken down by the side of Misfits. PerkZ getting what farm he can, but Baron is right around the corner, and G2 cannot contest in any way. They are way too far behind to try the Baron themselves. So does Misfits, who get to continue to dictate the pace of this game.
Misfits have been so good around that objective. It really felt like when they were drafting comps to play for that. This time around, they just have such a large advantage that they're going to have all control over this top side of the map. They can move on in, make sure that G2 can't get the pick, because that's the issue. If Misfits split up and Jankos calls that in, remember, it's G2 with all the ability to press one button and immediately find the engagement, so they can never get caught out of position and be down in numbers against this composition.
Pressure then onto Maxlore, onto Mikyx to keep Sama alive in the coming fights. But still, even after the pick, even if G2 use all those cooldowns to kill a single member, the fight is still difficult as Mundo and the Malzahar continue to ramp up. A lot of flat magic penetration there to cut through the squishier members of the G2 lineup. Things definitely looking grim. G2, though, holding on for now, clearing out what vision they can, playing safe. They know their territory on the map. They know what they have to give up. They're not looking to lose anymore.
Yeah, they're just slowly pushing the vision deeper and deeper into G2's topside jungle. They need a mid-wave in order to properly gain control. And you can see Hjärnan, he's going pretty far up in the lane so that he can catch the wave first, start poking it down so that Misfits don't have that much control. But the flank coming in from Misfits, Hjärnan's got to be careful.
Alphari here off to the side. Max looking to get this one started. They're trying to keep the fight going. They're looking to go in on the Sencux. Can they get anything else? The ultimate comes out. They're going to cut through Sencux immediately. Maxlore is still there. Alphari is still there. The tankier members are here. Jankos is running for his life. The flash is not going to be enough because Maxlore is still hungry. 2 for 1 the exchange in the end.
G2 are trying to play for picks, but it's not around PerkZ. He was not there for the huge fight. Now without a jungler alive, Misfits can head back for the Baron.
You can see the pings coming down. They have full vision control around the top side. Wunder's even head down to bot. Now his TP is up soon, but with a Draven and a Mundo, this Baron is going to go down quickly.
10k health. We have to keep our eyes. Are G2 going to contest? Jankos is down. Really no chance here. PerkZ not even going to look for it. They're going to try to get a bottom lane tower for this Baron in the end. But game 3, G2 backs against their wall. They are down almost 10k gold. It will be just about 10k as the Baron falls. Misfits now with the Baron. This is Misfits' game to lose.
This is a Misfits team that doesn't want to just stop in the semifinals either. They are looking to push as far forward. They want to be in the finals. They have returned to that form at the start of the split where they were undefeated, looking to make that run as deep as they can into playoffs.
And now this was the overextended Hjärnan that we were talking about, but G2 thought that they were safe because they had Wunder and Jankos backing him up. But they end up trading 1 for 1 initially, and then Jankos realizes, oh, I'm super squishy, and against 2 tanks, there's very little that I can do, especially with only 1 item, which gives a huge advantage over to Misfits, because not only did they find the kills, they got the jungler, which made that Baron easy pickings.
I have to say, we're at this point where Maxlore now not just has the Predator to get into fights, but also Righteous Glory, so it's Misfits finding these flanking opportunities to try and single out the backline and knock them forward. That is really going to result in super explosive fights for their side.
G2, though, setting up for picks, playing patiently. They know the Death Brush may be one of their only options. Doesn't get used outside the brush, still gives a little bit of vision.
Whoa!
A lot of damage down on the Wadid. The ulti coming in. Jankos
going into mid.
denying vision, immediately looking to go into the Sencux. The spell shield has come out, but the ulti now coming, looking for the outplay. But the
Oh!
Oh! I think he's still under tower.
No, he's out!
Whoa.
That was so clean from Jankos, and he gets away too. But look in the bottom lane. Misfits are grouped, and they're pushing, and G2 are slow to respond.
Yeah, beautiful play from Jankos, but it's not going to be enough. Inhibitor tower in the sights of Misfits. Baron buff is backing them up as well. The axe is finally returning for Sama. This could be the death sentence for G2. They're doing what they can to stop it. Eyes are on PerkZ and Hjärnan to turn this one around. The tank line, who can find the engage? Jankos is here as well. They have the man advantage. It isn't going to be enough. It's going to buy enough time for them to hold on for now, but the inhibitor does drop in the favor of Misfits.
Sencux has just been the sacrificial lamb in this game, and Misfits are just fine with it, because every time he drops, the team gets further ahead. 0-3-2 is the scoreline for Sencux, but look at everyone else. 3-2-3 on Sama. Maxlore, 5-0-3. The rest of this team is capitalizing on every play that G2 tried to make.
And they're gearing up for more. There's a teleport on Sencux. He can enter if they want to look for more than just this tower.
Break another one. Have to be careful, though. Have to respect the potential for the engage. The 3-man knockup for Wunder could be crucial. The immediate follow from Wadid. They want to keep the fight started. Hjärnan's untouched. PerkZ to the backside. This is what they needed! Misfits
through in an instant. Another game where G2 turned it around in the face. They get another one.
Everything that they needed right there in a single moment. The Baron buff denied. They bought time and they want to bring it back.
How do they do it? G2, they were on track to losing their second inhibitor, but another fantastic team fight comes together. They find the kills they need. They take down 4 members of Misfits and they reclaim some control on the map.
And they're going to be getting gold too, pushing through the mid lane, and Infernal Drake on top of that, and teleports just get even more. Sencux is out of his territory and in a lot of trouble.
Now backing. Looks like he will make it out to safety. G2 aren't going to pursue any further. They know they're still at a deficit. Jankos, not going to find him in the end. Backing off, but G2 buying themselves more time in this game, looking to bring it back.
We have to look at the multi-man knockups here. Wunder and Wadid are the ones that go in. Look at that 3-man there from Wunder into the flash pulverize follow-up. Insane coordination there from the top laner and the support to back up and support the rest of the team to make this fight a victory.
And Sencux arrives way too late to offer any kind of turnaround to the squad. G2, they've done it so many times now, these fights, but Jankos, he is being chased down by Handsama.
Misfits hungry to get something back. But gentlemen, we have to remember how dangerous it is to underestimate G2 eSports. This is a team with so much history that has accomplished so much in their time. Yes, they are down. Yes, they look like they could be out. With this team, you cannot afford to underestimate them. 5 EU LCS tie or 5 EU LCS finals, 4 titles, so many Worlds appearances, the finals at MSI as well. These guys are legendary.
Absolutely, and it's all been around PerkZ in the mid lane. Been there from the very beginning. Now he's got the kills. He's got the gold 5, 1, and 2. It is up to him leading the charge here for G2 as we go into another fight.
That's a chunk of health.
Oh!
Goes in. They got him! Handsama's gone now. They set the sides on Sencux. He's down 2. The carries are gone. G2 say, not today, boys. You want to take us out. It is not going to be the clean sweep. You're going to have to get down and dirty in the pit. You are going to have to fight for this win, and you are going to have to say goodbye to your team. This is the ace for G2.
It's Handsama that gets picked off. Jankos goes straight in to get that AD carry. Now G2, they have the chance to claw back. It is a huge, huge road ahead of them, but they're turning this around in a do-or-die situation.
Keep your eyes on the HP of Handsama at the beginning of this fight, because right now he's full health, but then the Q lands from PerkZ, and it chunks him in half. That is the go signal for Jankos to say, as long as you die, I don't care if I go with you. He walks away with his life, and the rest of G2 collapse. 5-0, and G2 find another successful
fight. And it's
fight.
the same finish in all of these fights that G2 win. It's PerkZ getting all of his team into that realm warp, sending them to pick up the straggling members. But it's him. It is all him. 5.3k damage, insane numbers from this player, and the fans believe.
G2 fans standing, being counted now as they show support for their team in their darkest time. And after 2 fights like that, I think it makes a lot of sense to see that confidence surge. 63% starting to stabilize. Misfits fans doing what they can to fight back here in the chat. But gentlemen, do you remember that 7k gold lead, that 8k gold lead, that just about 10k gold lead and a Baron buff? Well, now it's just a 3k deficit for G2, and we've seen what that Ryze can do. We've seen what that Varus could do. Suddenly, you're not quite so confident Misfits pulling this out.
This Baron is going to be the determining factor in who comes out ahead.
Whoa.
Did flashes in.
Has to be careful if he messes up this engage.
Oh, they got him!
Very quickly, they managed to find one engage. They're trying to keep it up. Maxlore wants to find a disengage. He's only managed to hit Hjärnan. G2, they're backing off. They've played against Vizicachi. They know better than to keep the fight going, but PerkZ is not going to hesitate.
Look at PerkZ go!
Wants to lock this up. Knocked aside for a brief moment. Wadid manages to find the 2-man knockup. Everyone is holding on to those key cooldowns. Handsama manages to hit the axes on multiple members. Maxlore leaping into the back line. Hjärnan still in touch, remaining that way. Wunder doing what he can to disengage with the backing up. Misfits have the momentum in the fight. Alphari trying to push forward. Handsama proccing the Conqueror. Wants a little bit more. The flash forward from Sencux. The silence, the immediate cleanse. PerkZ is running. G2 is running. They're going to give up Wunder. They're going to back off.
They're turning it!
Maxlore bringing it back, but Hjärnan manages to get it. The team fight going back and forth. The blood rush coming in from Handsama. He wants this kill so badly. One more. He wants to get it. He throws it up the wall. He's going to take him down, but the GA coming out. Sencux now waiting. Does get shut down in the end. My God, what a beautiful fight.
It's a 3v1 with long death timers and no tower on this inhibitor. A massive wave. Misfits, they are looking for the win.
Are they going to go for it right here? This could be everything. Hjärnan versus the world right now. Can he do it? Hjärnan and Wadid, the G2 bottom lane, the best bottom lane in the West. That's what they earned at Rift Rivals. Can they prove it here? Want to turn it back. Hansama just cutting down the towers. PvE the focus. They know they do not need to fight the champions. Silence goes in. Sencux
have to go.
his life, but they're going to find the knockup. Hansama! Shut down for Hansama. One more to close it out. Double going in, and gentlemen, this is it.
PerkZ is back. PerkZ is back.
They want to get it. Can they find it? I cannot believe my eyes. Hansama, is he going to get it down? Is it going to be enough? They do it. And the moment of pressure, Misfits come through and punch their ticket to Madrid.
Misfits make the miracle happen. 3-0 over G2 eSports. They shut down the legacy. They start to make their own. They will be going into the semifinals against Fnatic, and what a way to do it. A clutch and close final game.
They've got to take down all the Titans on their run to the finals in Madrid. What an exciting team, a group of 5 players to watch. People had doubts during the second half of the summer split, but Misfits erased every single one of them with this performance.
9-0 start to the split. Everyone expected Misfits to make that 18-0 run, but then they went 2-7 in the second half. Everyone counted them out. People thought that G2 would come in and they would be able to take this game, this series. But Misfits do what they always do when people underestimate them, and they show up.
The preparation, the execution, the confidence in this game 3, and yes, that confidence counted against them a little bit, but it did not matter in the end. They were able to execute. Hansama, fearless in his flash forward to close out the game, and I cannot believe it. The story for this Misfits organization just continues to be incredible. The one-year plan. Now this year, things looked dire. Playoffs looked dire. Gauntlet seemed like the only option, but against G2, they stand. They earn their place in Madrid, and I just wonder how far they can go.
And this is the first time in the organization's history that G2 will not be in a semi-final or a final. Misfits creating the upset. They did it last year against Fnatic. They're doing it this year against G2, but now they have to go up against Fnatic. That rematch is going to happen from last year. We have the potential to have a brand new final in Europe where no Fnatic and no G2.
This is, we called it the Super 6 yesterday, and Super 6, it definitely has been Misfits making a case to move up to the top of those 6 teams. Fnatic, though, a tough opponent, but
it builds so much hype, though, right? It's such a hype matchup.
Yeah, here's the thing. We had a Super 6 this weekend. Next week, we've got a final for the 4 teams going to finals.
Let me talk to you about this. Let me pitch something to you.
Yeah.
Hansama versus Reckless.
Ooh, tell me more about that, baby.
Wait. I think you mean Bwipo.
Also hype. Also hype. Don't take Bwipo out, man.
You
Bwipo
definitely
makes
can't
stuff
count
happen.
that man out. Oh, man. That's going to lead into a fantastic game later next week. Semi-finals, they're going to be great.
I'm ready for it. Don't forget to vote for your player of the series, though. At LO Esports on Twitter is the place. We've narrowed it down to Hansama, Alphari, and Maxlore. This is insanely hard.
Man,
obviously, the Draven game looks
I know
good,
so many people are going to go for Hansama, but just take some time. Think about what Alphari did in games 1 and 2 on the Cho'Gath.
Think about the chain poppy ganks on the bottom side.
And the Gragas barrels, too. It was all ridiculous.
Don't immediately go for Hansama. Think about this one, because it is a tough one.
Absolutely. Well, remember, guys, the main event of the summer playoffs is happening in Madrid. In case you missed it somehow, it is the 8th and 9th of September. You can check out eu.lolesports.com/Madrid 2018. Get some more information on how you can get those tickets. And now we've also got 254 viewing parties and cinemas across 30 different countries in Europe. Find one near you over at eu.lolesports.com/cinemas. I said different countries. It doesn't say that. It might not be. It might be 254 across like 12 countries. But many places will have this.
Make sure you go to the link, all lowercase, check out, see what you can get online.
Absolutely. While the teams battle for the EU LCS trophy, on the other side of the globe in the Oceanic Pro League, their finals gauntlet is happening this weekend, with the winner advancing to the grand finals in Melbourne. Now, Legacy or the Chiefs are going to face off against the Direwolves. Guys, grand finals on Sunday, the 2nd of September in Rod Laver Arena. It's an exciting time. Of course, Direwolves have had an undefeated year in the OPL. They're not dropping a single series, auto-qualifying to the grand final, LCK bracket style. Now, winner of the grand final will be representing the OPL in the World Championship starting in the playoffs stage. So very exciting times over in the OPL.
And we also have to mention, given that we are talking about Worlds, I believe, stats will confirm in my ear.
No, for sure.
With the win from Misfits, Fnatic locked in a spot at the World Championship. Stats have just confirmed it in my ear. Fnatic fans, you guys are going to Worlds.
And this, right now, Fnatic are Misfits' biggest fans. Next week, they will be bitter rivals. But for more on Misfits' win, let's check in with QuickShot for an interview.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And I'm joined by Hansama and Sencux. First and foremost, Hansama, you made that look easy. Did you think you were going to 3-0 today?
To be honest, no. I thought it was more like close, like 3-2, because I know that G2 is a really strong team, but I'm really surprised now that we made 3-0. And it reminds me from the last summer split. We are coming from the other underdogs, but then just 3-1 or 3-0, I don't know, and it seemed like the same feeling as now, yeah.
Sencux, how was it so one-sided today? What specifically allowed you to take all 3 wins?
I think we had a good plan coming into the game, and I think G2 did not play maybe at their best today either, and it really hurt them a bit. But I think we played a good game today, better than we played for a few weeks, because obviously the 2-7 second half of the split might not be too optimal.
Dude, you got more wins today than in the last 4.5 weeks of the split.
We don't talk about it.
Hansama, Sencux, let's start with Hansama. How did your training change, because you look like a different team from last week? Did it change? Maybe it didn't.
It changed. I would say maybe the biggest thing is not really, for me, not focusing too much about the book, just playing like as if trusting my instinct in game and less playing by the book.
Well, it definitely worked out. Playing by the book, game 1, you guys definitely did that. Very clean, very, very succinct. Game 3, the Draven, you lock it in for Hansama. Sencux, did you believe it was going to work? Because it did not work the last time it was pulled out in a high-stakes scenario.
Who doesn't believe in Hansama Draven?
Touche, I'll accept that. Okay, let's talk one more question about the matchup before we step back a little bit. Player of the game, Sencux, the nominations were Alphari, Maxlore, and Hansama. Hansama's not allowed to vote. He just said him. Who would you vote for?
That's a tough one, but I mean, Barney or Alphari, they play 2 Cho'Gath games, and he did solo kill on the Cho'Gath. I mean, you played Draven, but I think Barney can get it today. We make Barney happy today.
What?
You get it as well when we come home.
There is a huge audience here actually sitting and watching the game and watching the interview. Sencux, what do you say when you see all of the support? There's a Hansama sign. It actually says, have my babies. I shouldn't say that. But, when you've got all the support here, how does it feel, Sencux?
I mean, it's nice. I got some of my family today as well, so that's nice. I mean, it's always lovely to have support. I think in Misfits in general, ever since I joined, maybe personally, I did not have the best support because I had a bit of an off split last split. But in general, the team always gets supported and we always have great fans. So thank you to everyone.
Well, there we go. Thank you so much for the support here, guys. Hansama, you're now guaranteed to play in Madrid. You will either play in the winners match or in the 3rd place match. Is that something that plays on your mind, or are you just looking at Fnatic and going, oh, that's Fnatic in the semifinals?
I feel whoever I'm facing, I don't really care much about any team like Fnatic. I just want to play the core game in my way, and I will feel satisfied. And of course, going to Madrid is really big for me. I haven't been to to Spain since a long time, since I was a kid, so it's good to travel there too.
Very nice. Tickets still available if you want to come join. All right, very last question, Sencux. I don't know if you're aware of this information. Because you guys eliminated G2, you have now guaranteed Fnatic will appear at Worlds. They'll either win Summer or they'll go on championship points. You have also guaranteed that G2 eSports, for the first time ever, will play in the regional qualifier. Knowing that you have personally had such a big impact on the 2 most successful EU LCS organizations ever, what does that mean to you?
I mean, this win kind of means more for me. I think maybe Mikyx as well, because last year, if everybody remember the Splice series, it was really close, and I feel like we had that one in the back, but we kind of threw it away. But obviously, it sucks because Wunder is on G2 now, and I would like to see him go far as well. He's a good friend, so I mean, I'm not too happy about beating them, but had to be done.
Congratulations again, gentlemen. We'll see you next week for the semi-final against Fnatic. We're going to head over to post-game lobby. Sharks, take it away.